seems like everyone these days are dreaming about living outside of this country, whether it's the palm trees, new adventures, or getting a fresh start. But here's the truth. If you ignore these 5 things, your dream life could turn into an expensive nightmare even before you unpack. So let's make sure this doesn't happen to you. Okay, if you're wondering who I am, I'm Expat D. I've been living out of the United States for the past 7 years consecutively. I've been in and out of the United States since 2002. Okay, I've traveled to over 35 different countries, so I know what it takes to become an expat. I've got a lot of travel experience. All right, so I know in this political climate, okay, a lot of people are considering moving abroad. Okay, so here are 5 reasons not to go abroad until you are ready. Okay, before you move abroad, don't make these expat mistakes. Let's start with number 1. Okay, living abroad and vacation abroad are 2 different things. So what do I mean by that? Okay, when you vacation, okay, you've got a budget just for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. Okay, you're staying in hotels, staying in Airbnbs. Okay, you're living it up. You're not thinking too much about what you're spending on. People treat you good. Okay, you're spending money. They're willing to take you around, show you around, go on a date, things like that. Now, when you live there, it's different. Now you have to function on some type of budget that you have to be conscious of. Okay, you're probably living in a more residential area. You're not staying in a hotel area. You're probably not staying in that same type of Airbnb. So these are all things to consider, okay? Now you have to pace yourself and life looks a little bit different. Looking at point number 2, okay? This is very important. You don't hear this a lot. I don't hear this a lot on YouTube. If you're traveling abroad, if you're being an expat and you have a family, you want to make sure that the move works for everybody. Chances are, okay, if you have children, chances are you probably went abroad as an adult. You discovered that. As a child, you probably went to school in America, okay, or in the UK or somewhere in the West. So you really don't know what it's like to raise a child outside of the country. So this is a very important point because you have to make sure that it works for everyone. You have to give an effort if you have a family to make sure that you're integrating them. You're making sure the school situation is good, the extracurricular activities are good, because if not, it will come back to haunt you and it could basically sabotage your move, okay? Because you got to consider more than just yourself if you're traveling with the family. Okay, point number 3. If you're dealing with housing, okay, you have to make sure you're doing your research, your own research. Okay, you couldn't look at YouTube and they'll say, oh, you can get apartments, for just a couple $100 a month, or you could live and retire in this country for $500 a month. Do your own research. Some of these facts, of course, they're subjective. Okay, it depends on your lifestyle and how you like to spend. I'll give you an example. Years ago, when I first started traveling, I went to Ethiopia. Okay, I was just wanted to leave the country. I was desperate. I figured it out. I got a job, and I noticed that the places that people ate, the locals that lived off of, smaller budgets, I couldn't eat there. Okay, if I ate there, I got sick. I had to find myself in more of the touristy places, the expat type places to eat, and that was spending a lot more money than these small budgets that I heard about. So that's something to consider. Okay. When you look at housing, by the way, on my channel, I do have a $100 a month apartment tour, and this was in Kenya. That's something worth checking out. You can do that. It is possible to do. You could do that type of stuff in different countries in Africa. You could do it in Thailand. You could do it in Philippines. It can be done in Vietnam. But it's very important to do your research yourself and see if you actually like these areas, if you like these accommodations, and things of that nature. Okay. Point number 4, emotional support. Okay, being far from home is real. it's great to be around stuff. It's great to be around, cheap environments and maybe beaches and nice looking scenery. But the most important thing is people. Okay? How would you develop your social circle? It's good to lean into the activities that you like, and that's how you meet like-minded people. Okay, besides that, being far from home is real. It's peaks and valleys, okay? Peaks and valleys. You have different phases. You have a phase of like a honeymoon phase when you first move to a country. And then you also have times where things kind of settle back down to normal and you might start to feel a little lonely and a little bit homesick. So understand how you're going to manage that, okay? There's a lot of different humps that you want to get over. Okay, and point number 5, you want to look at the job market realities, okay? It's not just about Instagram moments. You want to find a source of income, ideally that you could bring with you, whether that's retirement or some type of pension or some type of online business or remote job. Those situations would be ideal. Okay, so in conclusion, let me know in the comment section what surprised you about moving abroad for those that moved abroad. Let me know if you're planning on becoming an expat and you're looking for a sustainable way to do it. Take a look at my other videos and subscribe to this channel, because that's what this channel is about, really helping people learn how to transition abroad effectively, do it sustainably, so you can do it as long as you would like to. We're not about trying to have you go abroad and then be just out right away because of poor planning. All right, so I'm Expat D. Thanks a lot for checking out my channel. Peace and I'm out.